Hi everybody, back for another episode of Flosstube. I am Audrey.Myrehn and I believe this is episode number 7. Today is September 16th and I've got a lot of stuff to show you. I had to gather a bunch of stuff up. The room that I'm in and have been in for all the previous episodes is a shared office that my husband and I have here in the house, but cat got into one too many things, and in a fit of rage I picked up all my stuff and moved it into the spare bedroom, which I have deemed is off limits to the cat, but it's not quite ready for me to do filming. I don't have like furniture and stuff set up in there. So this morning we went out to breakfast, and then when I came back, then I had to clean off this desk again, like really clean it, and then bring in what it was that I wanted to talk about. So getting started a little later this morning than I would have liked, but I think I'll still be able to get this uploaded by early afternoon. But hopefully next time, in 3 weeks time, I will be filming in the other room. The problem is that it has one window and it's smaller and it doesn't get a good amount of light until the afternoon, so I might be recording later, which is probably going to be a little bit easier on me, just so I don't, I won't feel like I have to get everything done right in the morning. But we'll see how it goes. If it is too dark, then I'll have to supplement some light, and I don't really like artificial light for these videos. I've never done it with artificial light, but I like how much natural light I'm getting, and I think you guys really see the colors really well of fabrics and floss and whatnot. So I definitely want to be in my own space. I mean, I'm very happy to be in a shared space with Brian, but just problems with, let's just say that one night I was going into the laundry room and I found some Valdani thread that went from the laundry room all the way down the hallway to the kitchen table and around a chair leg and then back somewhere else, and I about lost my you-know-what. So I just like picked everything up and put it in the other room, and I guess it's good that I don't have a ton of stuff, and pretty much most of it was in totes, so it made it easy. But this morning it was a little more difficult because I had to round up like, oh, where's this one piece and where's this other one piece that I need to show today. So it is only September, and yet I am wearing a happy Halloween pin. He's a little ghost with a wand. So I made this 20 some years ago. This is another Mill Hill kit. I made this when I was a kid. I have a bunch of them, and I've always loved Halloween, and the Mill Hill kits were really easy for me to do when I was younger, and I still like to do them. But I thought today would be a little bit about Sampler September Soiree, but then we can get into Halloween stuff because I have some new Halloween patterns, something new that I've started to work on. And then I've got some older Halloween patterns that I want to show you guys. Maybe you know of them, maybe you don't. Maybe it'll give you some inspiration. But real quick, because it's sitting on top of my pile here and I just want to get through it so I can move it, I wanted to talk again about this neck light. My mother-in-law, Kim, gave this to me. Thank you, Kim. I have had more time to break this in and really use it, and I can tell you it's been wonderful. So there are buttons here on each side that controls the brightness, and then there's a button back here that controls the warmth of the light. So you can actually have a warm light or a cool light depending on what your preference is or what your environment dictates. But I really like this. I think you can get them on Amazon. You can look up this brand. I'm sorry I didn't bother to look up how much it was, but like I said, I don't think she spent very much. So this has been a great thing to have. I haven't had any air trouble with it yet, so I can't say how it does on an airplane, but I imagine it would do very well because I use it even just sitting in the living room. Because like I mentioned on earlier videos, we just don't have a lot of light in our living room, so it makes it a little hard to stitch at night. And then one other thing, my mom got this for me. She bought one for herself. This is a wool mat. So New Zealand sheep wool. She bought this to iron like quilt pieces, and she bought one for me as well. It is Mohom, M-O-H-O-M, and you can see the size it is. And I have not done so much ironing as I have done in the past couple months, like ironing finished cross stitch pieces, whether to have my mom finish them into something or just to put them away nicely, you know, without wrinkles, or to show you guys I want to iron them. But every time I iron, I got to take out this really squeaky ironing board. I mean, I know I should just oil the darn thing. But with this, since I'm only ironing small pieces, I can't tell you the last time I actually ironed an article of clothing. It's been nice. I just take out the mat and I can just put it on the kitchen table, take out the iron, you know, iron the little thing that I need to do, and then it's done. And I don't have to worry about a big ironing board. So that's really nice. So thanks, Mom. I have used it. I have used it a lot. I showed it on my Instagram stories, and if you guys want to follow me there, I'm at StitchStitchBead on Instagram. But it's been very handy. It's been nice. So on my last video, I mentioned that this video was going to be all about Halloween. But of course I have to talk about Sampler September because we're still in September and I have been working on a sampler. I have a couple finishes that I can show you. And then if you have been following me on Instagram, you know that I've been working on a Hands Across the Sea. So let me show you my couple finishes. So this, I believe I started after my last video. And I finished it in about a week. It didn't take me long. I had a lot of fun with it. And it's a nice little thing to stitch up. This is a present to Esther Clark by the Scarlet House. This is at least a few years old. Oh, it says copyright 2019. I remember seeing this on an episode of Brenda and Laura, Brenda and the Cereal Starter. And I thought it was really cute. I liked the size and I liked the colors. I liked the browns, the neutrals and everything. And I just thought these dogs down here were so cute. So this calls for Weeks Dye Works Cocoa or Mocha, or the Autumn Gold from Lakeside Linens. But I just kind of looked at the picture and said, well, let me just pick something brownish. And I decided to go with a Fox and Rabbit. This is 40 count Up in the Attic Fox and Rabbit. This is variegated linen. And I don't know if you can see, it's like browns and yellows and tan. I'm trying to capture the color. It is really pretty, and I like how the floss colors look with it. So as I say, this took me about a week, and I didn't have any problems that I can remember. And actually, I had been thinking about trying the pin stitch, which is a way to start your threads. And I've watched Nicola Parkman's tutorial on how to do the pin stitch. And I watched it like 3 times. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. How does it work? Like you can see how it's working. But then when she's done it and she like, you know, snips off all that extra, it's like magic. I don't understand. But I did it on this in a couple places and I can't even remember where now. And it worked. It was like magic. I don't understand it. So it was nice to know that I could do that anyway. I just tried it. And but anyway, if you're looking for a little thing to stitch up, maybe as a gift or just a treat to yourself, I really like that one. And then this, you know, I've got half of the fabric left, so I can do something else on this. And that is 40 count Up in the Attic by Fox and Rabbit, as I said. And I used the called for threads. You've only got 3, 6, 8 colors. Yeah. Easy peasy. Okay, so that one was easy. You guys want to see one that was a pain in the butt? I'm glad this is done. Let's just say that. Oh. This, at times, was really fun to stitch. And then at other times, I hated it. So I'm glad that it's done. My problems came with the pattern. The pattern, as I mentioned before, had some problems. And at the end, the biggest problem was this white border here. So in the pattern, it's asymmetrical. And I was like, oh, well, why? Because we have enough room, so let's make it symmetrical. But then that led to other problems. Anyway, just beware if you buy this pattern. So I don't know what to say to it. It's really pretty, and no one will ever know what my mistakes are, what my deliberate changes are, anything like that. And overall, it is very impressive. It's pretty. I do like it. I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad that I finished it. It got to the point where I was working on this last little bit of white border, and I realized that there was going to be a problem. And I thought, well, do I want to rip out that whole bottom border? No, I don't. We just want to be done. We just want to be done. You know? So this is 40 count Heartland by Picture This Plus, I believe. Is that right? All the information's on my Instagram. I'll have to look. I'm sorry I didn't double check that before I started this. But it takes Classic Colorworks and DMC. And I use the called for Classic Colorworks, but then instead of the DMC, I chose my own Classic Colorworks substitutions. So for this yellow, this was supposed to be a DMC. I chose Queen Bee. But as I say, I chose all Classic Colorworks just to make it simple because it was Classic Colorworks and DMC. So I just decided to do all Classic Colorworks. This was supposed to be black. This was supposed to be 310. And I chose Blackbird by Classic Colorworks. This white, I think, was just supposed to be white or like an off-white. And I chose Snowball, which is still just a white. I don't think it really changed. This orange was not on the original chart. Oh, and if you get this chart and you do see issues with it, like things missing, like carrots missing, just go to Lila's Studio. This is the pattern. It's Spring Quaker by Lila's Studio. Just go to her website and she has corrections on her website. Easy enough to find. But yeah, like this carrot wasn't charted. The greens was charted, but not the orange part. And then these flowers weren't charted. So then, anyway, I complained more about this in a previous video. You can go back and watch. But I am glad that it's done. It's very pretty. Yeah, this took me 4.5 months, start to finish. I did a lot of other things in that time. So I think if I had worked on this monogamously, I could have finished it in a month and a half, 2 months, something. But I knew I was going to get burnt out with it. But it was nice. Like sometimes like in a day, if I had the time, I could just do like a half medallion in a day. And it was like, that's a big chunk, right? That you've gotten done. So if you're thinking about doing this or another Quaker, you know, there are so few colors in the medallions. Like all of these medallions around here and the half medallions, there are just 2 different color browns. So not a lot of color changes in the border to think about and to have to worry about. So eventually I will get that framed, put up somewhere. Yeah. Good luck to anyone who does that one though. So Lila's Studio, she came out this year. She came out with Summer Quaker as well, and some people have asked me if I'm gonna do that one. I don't think I am. It's cute, but I know what an investment of time that one was, and to me, it's not worth it. I don't like it 4.5 months worth. Put it that way. But she does have another one, Welcome Quaker, which is cute. And that has a lot of black and then just a few different elements that are done in other colors. And that one looks like it would go really quickly. So I am considering doing that one, the Welcome Quaker. You know, it's got the Quaker, it says welcome in the Quaker alphabet. And then it's got a pineapple and some blackbirds and some other black motifs. I think there are a couple houses or something. Excuse me, but that one looks like it would go quicker. So I'm considering that one. And also my son, Morris, he likes that one. He's like, Mom, you should stitch that one. Like you should listen to your 9-year-old about what projects to stitch. But, and since Morris came up here, I wanted to thank everybody for their love and support and their excitement about the stories that I have shared with you about Morris. And I know I've mentioned this to some people, and I said it in an earlier video, but I'll say it again here. His name is Morris, but it's actually spelled M-A-U-R-I-C-E. He's named after Morris Gibb, and it's just the French spelling. But I picked Rupert's names and Morris's names so that if they were to travel abroad, they would translate well into, I guess, the Romance languages, not necessarily other languages. Anyway, and I've even had some requests from people for Morris to appear on a video. And he does love attention, and he very much wants to be involved in at least one of these Flosstube videos. However, YouTube has certain rules and restrictions about including minors in your videos. So I know when you like share a video of your kid to Facebook, it doesn't matter for some reason, and I think it has to do with monetizing, because I talked to Ryan about this, and that's his guess. Because every time I upload a video, it says, you know, is this made for minors? No. Is it okay for them to watch? Yeah. Are minors involved or shown or included or whatever? And I always say no, but I wonder if you say yes, if there are some restrictions or some rigmarole that you have to go to. So I've told Morris that he will not be included in one of my videos anytime soon. Maybe we can get that changed, because I know I've had some requests from people. So in the meantime, you're just going to have to settle for some silly stories about him and his brother, Rupert. But he did tell me that he wants to have his own Flosstube channel when he's like, I only got to wait 9 years. He wants to have his own Flosstube channel, and he wants to call it Stitch a Bunch. So nobody take that. And and then he's been watching, he loves Brenda and Laura, just to let you know. He loves Brenda and Laura, but he watched a little bit of an episode of Fox and Rabbit with me, and it was nice. It's nice that Brendan and Karen, you know, they're married and they have a business together. They've got this great relationship, business, you know, they've been very successful and everything, and they have Flosstube as well. It's nice for young male stitchers to have even one person to watch. It's very nice, one man to watch who is interested in textiles and, you know, needle arts and stuff as well. And one day, Morris, first of all, he told us not too long ago that he never wants to get married and he never wants to have kids because he wants to spend all his money on himself. I was like, good plan. Good plan. But then when he was talking about, you know, making his own Flosstube videos and having his own channel and everything, you know, he's got all these ideas and everything. And he's like, oh, but if I get a wife and she stitches too, we can do it together. I was like, yeah, buddy. So anyway, Brendan and Karen, like they're going to see this, but I watch their videos. I really do enjoy them. And you've had a nice impact on my son as well. And that's very nice. And I'm very thankful. So, and he loves your accents. He's like, those Australian accents. I'm like, I know. So they really think we sound weird. So yes. So thank you for all your love and support shown to Morris. Rupert actually, he hasn't done a lot of cross stitching this summer. He did a little bit, as I mentioned several videos ago. But I started a punch needle project, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and he was like, what is that? And I let him try it, and I was working on this one section, and he like, I gave it to him, and then I look away, and then I look back, and he's like done the whole thing. He's like, I love this. I was like, so punch needle might be the thing for him. It was pretty funny. Okay, so I've shown you a couple of finishes that I have. I have one more finish, actually. So let me Let me dig that out. And I apologize for my squeaky chair if you can hear it. So again, I showed this on Instagram if you guys follow me. Ruth Gibb, she showed up. I ordered some things from Hobby House. They sent all the things except Ruth Gibb, but I called and they sent her out right away. So got it. This went so quickly, okay? Like so quickly. I did this in a few days. And I used the called for linen and the called for 103. So it was number 335 is the 103. And then I used Marble Khaki by XG Designs. And you can order her fabrics from various needlework shops, but you can also find her on Etsy. And I've ordered some of her fabrics from Hobby House, and I've ordered some things directly from her. I have another new piece that I'll show you guys in a bit. Yep. But this is Marbled Khaki. Let me just show you just the fabric before I even show you the finished product. So this is, it's modeled, and I'm sorry it's really wrinkly, but it's kind of a warm pinkish, brownish on a ivory. I don't even know what to call it. It doesn't look like khaki to me. But, and this, oh, and this is 46 count. 46 count. And this is Ruth. And isn't she lovely? So pretty. And I don't think I made any mistakes. Yeah. Amazingly enough. I made enough mistakes in Spring Quaker to last me a lifetime. Thank you very much. So I was so pleased when I was about halfway done with this and I was like, I don't think I've made any mistakes. Let's keep it going. And I didn't have to rip anything out. That's another thing. Not only did I not make any mistakes, but it's not like I made mistakes and then had to rip them out and now it's fixed. No, I just didn't make any mistakes that I can see. It was so quick. I was getting to the end and I was like, really? I'm almost done? It's only been a few days. But it was nice. It was fun. And it was just nice because at the time, you know, I was working on Spring Quaker and Hannah Campbell was already started and she's sort of daunting in her own way. And it was just nice to pick this up. It is a reproduction sampler. It's so beautiful, but it's so simple. And it was nice to have a feeling of accomplishment, honestly. And this is a large piece of fabric. So I have enough room to stitch Marie-Louise-Pierre. This is another Hands Across the Sea. And this also calls for Marbled Khaki by XG. And you can stitch it on whatever you want, but I think I'd like to, since I have the fabric, you know, might as well. And I have the threads as well. So these, Ruth and Marie-Louise, I decided to just keep together since they were going to be on the same fabric. And I'm actually not going to cut Ruth off. I'm going to stitch Marie-Louise and then I will separate them and then send them to the framers when I do. Oh, here's my, so proof that I ordered the fabric from Hobby House. Came in a little paper bag. But I have them in this bag that I got from Penny and Tunny. This is Kathy Holden fabric, if I remember correctly. And I just love these elements here. And I even got, because why not, right? So I put, it's nice that Ruth only took one color and Marie-Louise only takes 5 colors when I stitch her up. So these are the colors for Marie-Louise. So pretty simple. She's a big sampler now. She's a big girl. Let me see. Yeah, because this is going to be on 46 count. She's going to be almost 12 by 12. The design, I mean the fabric itself, you need more room than that. Yeah, because she is 266 stitches by 273 stitches. And Ruth, how big was she? Yeah, she was only 145 by 105. Very small, very easy to do. So if you want to try If you want to try silks, if you want to just try one little red sampler, and I apologize for my very noisy neighbor. This would be a good one. She stitches up quickly. You don't need a lot of fabric, whether you do 40 to 56, 32, whatever you want to do. You don't need a large piece of fabric, and you only need the one color. And if you don't like 335, just pick your own red color. You know, so I showed you guys, I don't remember when that was, but I showed you that because I had registered for the Great British Sampler Weekend Comes to America at Hobby House Needleworks next October, Nicola Parkman of Hands Across the Sea gifted everybody who registered with a free chart. And I can't show you the chart because I don't have a picture of the finished product. She just sent us the chart. And she said, get creative and pick whatever color fabric and, you know, color floss that you want, you know. It is a reproduction sampler. And she says that she's going to release this Mary E. Hill at a later date. But for our homework for the retreat next October, she wants everybody to finish Mary E. Hill in their own way. So I thought, well, I really just want to make her another red sampler. Let's make Mary E. Hill another little red sampler that I can add to my red sampler collection, because I finished Elizabeth Wood and now I have Ruth Gibb, and I purchased this lovely lady, Carmel Azzopardi, which is so fun to say. She's French, but she's got an Italian last name. And I like that it says, she was French. It says, fait par Carmel Azzopardi le 6 juillet 1900. Sorry, my numbers, I don't have to use numbers very often, so I forget them. But anyway, so I want to have a red sampler collection, as does everybody, right? Because they're beautiful. So for Mary E. Hill, I thought, well, what red do I want? And it's hard because I have a few red, maybe wine colors in my collection that I have for other things, like for Ruth or Hannah Campbell or whatever. And I was like, well, how am I going to pick a red and just order it online? So I decided, well, I'm just going to order a slew of reds and then I can pick something from those. So that's what I did. I went on to 123 Stitch and I went into their, you know, Auvers 103 section, and everything that looked remotely red, I added to cart. And there were some that I knew, there were some that looked like super orangey, and I was like, well, I'm not going to bother. And still, I ended up with a couple that were more on the orange side. And then I'd say these ones look pretty pink. But this is what's called for Carmel, and you need 3 of them, so she says, so about 3 of them. But then what I selected is right here. So I got them all arranged by number to make Morris proud. What I ended up choosing for Mary E. Hill is 681. This is a nice red. It's not like fire engine red like I would say Carmel is, but I have 46 count Squirrel Nutkin by Tabby Cat, and I really like how these look together. This is a really warm brown, and I think the red, it works well with it, but it also pops off of it nicely. And I think Mary E. Hill will be very nice. And Mary E. Hill is only 83 by about 130 stitches. So she's gonna stitch up, should be as quickly as Ruth Gibb. It's a little more dense, I think, than Ruth. You know, Ruth has a lot of negative space, but I think this will look very nice together. So that's on my radar, as people say. That will get started soonish. But I should have some happy mail coming pretty soon. Somebody said they are sending me something, Laura. Oh, which reminds me. Okay. Well, I'll save it until the end because I got to get through some other stuff. But Laura, I have something for you. I mean, don't get too excited. It's like not a big deal. Okay. let's see, what is that? It's my marbled khaki bag. Okay, so I'm gonna show you now Hannah Campbell, progress I've made on that. This is another Hands Across the Sea, and it's in this magnificent bag. Oh, did you guys, okay, so Nicola released her Letters from Europe box. This was months ago, and apparently some people got them and some people didn't, and I didn't, and it's not the end of the world. It's no big deal. You know, we've got other problems in our lives, right? But she said she was releasing another red box to make sure that, you know, more people could get in on the fun of opening a box full of surprises and stuff, and it was very nice. And she actually produced many more, like hundreds of boxes more than she had the previous round. And this is a completely different collection, and this is called Words of Wisdom, and they're all sold out, so if you don't have one, you don't have one. But I got mine the morning that she put them on her website, the Hands Across the Sea website. I got mine. I was one of those people who helped to crash the website. Sorry. But I did get mine. But you know what the really nice thing was? Is that it took more than 24 hours for them to sell out. So it was nice. Like, there was a rush on it. Everybody was in panic mode. Can I get it? Can I get it? But then there were so many left. And I kind of kept checking throughout the day and then into the next morning. And like, it took a little while for them to sell out, which made me feel good because that tells me, right, that most people who wanted one got one, right? But then Barry from Stitch Folk had an accompanying bag to go along with it. I did not order the bag from Stitch Folk because I spent on the box. So I'm gonna content myself with my tomato bag. I do love this bag. I want more of these bags. They're so pretty. And I just, you know, I have it out. So I don't know how you guys use your project bags, but I have it, you know, I got my project in it, and if I'm sitting on the couch, I take all my stuff out, and then I keep the bag on my lap, and then I've got my book open, and maybe I put the book to the side, but then I've got the bag right here, and it's to keep, honestly, I was thinking about it like as a way to keep my project from my sweatpants or quilt or whatever is on my legs. It's something that's probably covered in cat hair. But it's nice because then, you know, I look down and I see this really beautiful bag. So thank you, Barry. I love my bag. This was one of those things, like, you just had to be, you know, had to be on it, had to be on Etsy and get your tomato bag. And you know, I know Stitch Folk has so many things going on, and who knows when there will be another opportunity to get bags. But anyway, so I hope everybody who wanted a box and or a bag for Words of Wisdom got it. Yeah. All right, so Hannah Campbell. This is the first Hands Across the Sea that I purchased. So I started collecting kind of late. I don't, you know, for those of you who haven't watched all my previous videos, I only started stitching on linen last year. And I knew about Hands Across the Sea for quite a while, but it was just like, you know, oh, I can't do that. And then I started stitching on linen, and I was like, yeah, I can do that. So if you've never stitched on linen, or you've never stitched on high count linen, or you've never stitched a Hands Across the Sea, but you love them because they're beautiful, just try it. Maybe don't try this one because there is a buttload of over one, but she is beautiful. So I'll show you what I have done so far. Now, she is in the hoop because I was working on her, so maybe I should take it out. I'm about a quarter of the way done with Hannah here, and I've only spent 2 weeks working on her, because when I started her, I worked on her every day for about 5 or 6 days, and then put her away for weeks and was working on other things. And then I picked her back up again this Sunday evening, and since then I've worked on her every day, and I'm pleased with how much I've gotten done in just a couple weeks. This is 45 count Legacy, and the color is Thai Iced Tea, and I'm using the called for 103s. she has so many different colors. Let me show you. These are Gutermann boxes. You can get them on Amazon if you're curious. So the border is done primarily with these two colors, which contrast beautifully. But then I've also been using a lot of this light blue and this pink here as well. That's what I've been. And then a lot of the over one stuff, the letters and things, are done with this dark color. It's like a really, really dark grayish navy kind of color. And I'm sorry about my squeaky chair. It's another thing I need to fix. But yeah, there's an alphabet that will go around here. There's also the small alphabet here, and then there are going to be some numbers here. That's over 1. This bird is over 1. There's going to be another over 1 bird here, and then there are so many other animals throughout that are over 1. Now, if I remember correctly, the original, like the old antique, was done on about 28 count. So maybe over 1 on 28 count for a young girl with amazing eyesight. Isn't that impressive? But doing it on 45 count in low lighting, it's a pain in the butt. So I don't have a magnifier, but I'm thinking about it. So I've gotten, let's see, I kind of did this, like this corner, if that makes sense. So that's how I figure I'm about a quarter of the way through. Yeah, but see those letters? They're beautiful. I love them. Is it gonna focus? Come on, camera, focus. But it is a challenge. It's nice. I mean, it turns out beautifully, these letters and everything, but it is a challenge. Yeah, and this A, I shouldn't have timed myself, but I did. And that A took me a half an hour. And I thought, how many more letters do I have to do? So I should not have timed myself. So probably don't think about how many hundreds of hours you're putting into these things. But here's the centerfold. Yeah. So that's what I'm working on for Sampler September Soiree, if you want to say that. I did start her, when did I start her? Must have been last month, I think. But she's been fun. It's been gratifying, you know, challenging in a good way, right? Speaking of Hands Across the Sea, I know Nicola released, this was weeks ago, she put out those tote bags, and I didn't buy the tote bags, but I watched her video talking about the tote bags, and there were 3 designs, and you know, each bag featured a sampler. 1 had already been released and 2 hadn't, and one of them she said was not going to be released till next year, but the other one, and I paused it and tried to read it, and I think it said Martha Walmsley. It's very pink and has a very large bird in the center, and she said that she's going to release that end of October, early November, so I will be buying that. Yeah. Let me check my notes, see if there's anything else I'm missing here. Okay. Nope, did that. Okay, I guess we can move on to Halloween stuff. Halloween! Oh, I was going to show you my other hats things. Do you want to see those? Yeah, you do. So I showed you this one. This is a new release. It's so pretty. I think this alphabet here is very similar to the alphabet that's on Marie-Louise-Perret, but it might be a little different. This calls for Cockle Shell by Tabby Cat. I don't have that, and maybe who has it? Because when I go onto the Tabby Cat website, it says that can be back ordered. That's what it says. So who has Cockle Shell? Not like I couldn't just stitch this on something else I have, but I have the threads for it. Beautiful, bright threads, as I showed you guys. This 664. Look how bright that is. I love it. So I need to either order Cockle Shell from someone, or just pick something else. But I think I did want to actually order cockle shell or something similar maybe, because this is done exclusively in over 2. And I was thinking about doing it on 56 count because I can. I stitched Elizabeth Wood on 56 count and I love how it looks. That's another thing though. Elizabeth Wood is finished. Ruth Gibb is finished. But I want to put my signature, like maybe just my initials in the year or something, on the linen, not within the design. I want it to be hidden when the thing is framed, but I'm trying to figure out what I want that to look like. So before I send anything off for framing, which will not be for a while anyway, but I wanted to figure out, do I want to just write AAM and then the year, or do I want to write Audrey.Myrehn, or do I want to stitch out my whole name? No, I don't want to do that, because no, once you get done with something, you just want to be done with it. But I do want my name or initials incorporated on it. So I need to pull Elizabeth Wood back out and, you know, sign it basically, and do the same for Ruth. So then I have Mrs. Campbell. This calls for wood smoke. I don't have wood smoke, but I think I have another fabric from number 12 that would work for this. I don't think about it, but I don't even have the threads for this. And this takes a lot of different colors. This takes more than I want to count. This takes like 20 colors. So I'm not doing that anytime soon. And then this, so cute. Look at the deer and the bunnies. It's so cute. Oh, that's another thing. So I was trying to figure out what I wanted my signature to look like. I really like this A. There's no M here, but I think I can find, like I can figure out how to make an M to go with this. Yeah. There's a Y and an R and an E and an N that I could turn into an H and then an N. So I could figure out how to spell my name, my last name. But I don't have the threads for that either, so I'm not starting Emily Ann Greenway anytime soon. This is Ann Oliver. My mama bought this for me. It's so cute. I don't have the threads for this either. What does this take? Marbled pointer. Oh yeah, and I went on to X2 Designs, and I think she's out of marbled pointer in high count. I think she has it in 36, but she doesn't have it in 46 or 56. Look what I bought. Okay, I do have the fabric for this. This calls for Creme Brulee by Tabby Cat, and I'm going to, and I have 56 count. I'm going to do this on 56 count because I'm a nutter, but I got to get the threads for that. This is a new-ish release. This came out within like the last month or so. Oh, so I ordered a set of tea towels from Nicola Parkman. And when I was getting those, I was like, well, let me just get some of the things I wanted. So that's when I ordered this, and the Rose and the Giant Pear, and Carmel, that new red sampler. This one is so little, and it only takes 8 colors. And a couple of them I might already have. So I bet I could start this soon. And this one, it says the model was stitched on 56 count, so it must be all over too. Although I watched a really old episode of Nicola Parkman's Flosstube, and she was talking about how, forgive me, somebody else, one of you will know, but she's got one of her red samplers, and the original was stitched on 80 count, like something like 80 count. So her friend Linda was stitching it on 40 count over 1. Oh, amazing, amazing. I'm not doing that. Okay, this is Florence Mary Dickinson. This is an exclusive from Hobby House Needleworks. They've sold out. I can't believe I was able to get one because I only just ordered this within the last few months. They still had them. This takes a lot of colors. But this is also done on Creme Brulee by Tabby Cat, and I have a huge piece. So she might be on that. And it says it's worked entirely in cross stitch over 2 threads. So the Tabby Cat Creme Brulee that I have is 56, as I said, because I knew I was gonna put these two on that. Maria Ewan, she's the Queen of the May for this year. Look at how many colors. Look at how many colors. I'm not stitching this anytime soon. And this, oh my God, so many colors. This has like 30 some colors. Yeah, I remember I watched an old video. Nicola was talking about this, and I think she said something about 37 colors. Does that sound right? Who has stitched this? Have any of you stitched this? Is it really 30 some colors? It's a buttload. Yeah. But it's so pretty. I know Laura Duet stitched just this as a gift for Brenda, and that was really pretty. But I have seen people finish this. It's just gorgeous. So I would like to do that. Where? Oh. Something I do have the threads for. Alexander's and Lynn Thrathen. So I think after I've finished Hannah, or maybe when I'm just getting close to the end, maybe going a little buggy, I think I'm going to start this. I really like stitching alphabets, and this has a lot of fun elements in it. Interesting stitches. And I have all the colors. These are the 103s. Look at like these ones right here. I love that. I love this green, that mustard. These are beautiful colors. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. And for that, I actually do have a fabric that will work. I bought this a while ago. This is Dark Mocha Beige. This is a 46 count by XJU Design. The pattern says it calls for, look at that, Weeks Dye Works Cocoa. And I think this will work just fine. So out of all the samplers that I have that are not just red samplers, I think the Alexanders would be next on my list. I have everything I need, right? Yeah, because this, first of all, this book is really heavy. There are a lot of pages in it. But this is going to be an investment, right? Lots of threads to buy. But I thought maybe you guys, since we're still in September, maybe you want some inspiration for samplers. This is another one. This is not a Hands Across the Sea. This is by Shakespeare's Peddler, but this is a reproduction sampler. This is Mary Ann Mingay. I found this a while ago. I found this online and added it to my wish list, and then I happened to see it in Persnickety Stitchers in Zionsville, and so I just grabbed it. And I already got the called for, this is 40 count light hazelnut by XJU Designs. But this takes a lot of, this takes NPIs and Soie d'Alger and Gloriana and Silken Colors. So, yeah. But this is so pretty. So pretty. Love that one. And then as part of the homespun needlework samplers and whatnot group, you can find it on Facebook. I got this, Jane Thompson. This is not a reproduction. This is inspired by antiques. And so I talked about this earlier. Because it's not a reproduction, I don't feel the need to stitch it exactly as it is charted. And I'm gonna take out this prayer here. And I found an antique on eBay that had a neat little poem on it. So I thought I would just steal that and stitch that in there. It'll fit. And then I can put my name here. And actually Ryan and I were talking this morning. He was like, what are you gonna talk about on Flosstube today? And I said, well, sampler stuff and then Halloween stuff. And we were talking about reproductions, and because he asked me like, well, do you prefer samplers or do you prefer whatever? And I said, no, I prefer samplers. And he said, well, is it the aesthetics or, you know, is it something else? And I said, well, it's the aesthetics, but also I like the history. I like that, you know, 200 years ago, some 9-year-old came up with this design and stitched it, and somehow we still have it and we can make it ourselves. And he was like, well, have you ever thought about making your own design? And I said, well, actually I have. I've been thinking about that. So request to my viewers, I want to chart a sampler, like an original creation. If any of you use a computer program, what computer program do you use, and do you like it? Why do you like it? Is it free? I have an iPad and I have a MacBook, so something that's compatible with those. But I have been thinking about, you know, if I were to come up with a sampler, if I were to design my own, what elements do I want to include? What is important to me? What do I like aesthetically? A helpful thing is when you go onto the Hands Across the Sea website, there's a tab for other resources for needle workers, and one of them is just about motifs and their meanings. So like, what does a bird mean, and what does a heart mean, or what is a particular type of bird, like swans or turtles, or like there are all these different things, and what are their meanings. And some of them have, like, interestingly enough, contradictory meanings. Kind of depends on how you incorporate it, I guess. But I thought also about looking into, I think it's called florology, and the different meanings behind different flowers and stuff, because I know on a lot of samplers, you know, you've got either a poem or a prayer or a quote of some kind, and I have decided, you know, when I chart this, whenever the heck I make it, I have decided the text that I will include. And so I want to put the text in, kind of illustrate the text, but also include other elements that are important to me, meaningful to me. And like, do I want to include initials for family members, or do I just want to include motifs that might represent those family members? Or, you know, how do I want to do this? So anyway, do you guys do your own charting for like small things, big things, things that climb on rocks? Do you want, and like, what do you use? What do you use? I don't know. Because also, again, on the Hands Across the Sea, you can just like print out graph paper, and it's like tiny, tiny little graphs. And I was like, oh, well, I can just do it by hand. But which one sounds like more of a pain in the butt? I don't know. Okay. So that's all the sampler stuff that I have to show you. And hopefully next time, Hannah Campbell is not going to be finished by the time I do my next video in 3 weeks. But I think I might be able to finish a Little Red sampler in that time, maybe 2. And then I should have some Halloween stuff, Halloween finishes to show you. And speaking of Halloween things, I have a lot of Halloween patterns that I'm going to show you. I've got some finishes, and then I've got something that I've made progress on, and some things that I'm excited to start. So I see I'm already 53 minutes in, so I'm going to try to wrap this up pretty quickly. Let me show you guys my new Halloween project bag. Oh, so cute. This fabric is Halloween by Moda. And I saw this on, I don't know, Fat Quarter Shop or something like that. And I was like, oh, it's so cute. What am I going to do with it, though? I can't sell or anything. But then I saw that Joanna, 1966 on Etsy, she actually had some of this fabric. And so I was like, well, let me know when you make that into project bags. And then the next day she sends me a little note, and she's like, they're in my shop. So I bought it. So cute. So cute. And the inside, oh, here's the back. It's just that all over pattern. But the inside is orange polka dots. So cute. So you may have seen recently that Brenda Gervais released some new fall patterns. This is When Pumpkins Glow. So cute. So cute. And I am stitching this on 40 count toasted mallow. Look how pretty that color is. This is from number 12 Stitch Co. Thank you, Nicola. And I'm using some of the called for threads. Oh, my pattern fell. Some of the called for threads, but then I made other substitutions. Pretty much just based on the picture. I'm pretty far along. I did this in just a few days, actually. I just loved it. It was really fun to stitch. And I I kind of had it in my head that I was going to finish it and have it completely fully finished to show you guys before this video. But then I got into Hannah Campbell and Ruth Gibb, and I was like, you know what, it's okay. I don't need to have it finished like right now because we're not even into October yet. But I pre-ordered this from Farm Girl Dry Goods, and I also ordered a couple other patterns from her. One is that Women of the Mayflower by Brenda Gervais. And then there was another one, and I already forgot what it was. I don't remember what it was. But another thing that I ordered was the panorama board to go with this. So this board that it's mounted on, you can buy this from Farm Girl Dry Goods. You can also get it from the Cottage Needle on Etsy, and maybe somebody else has it. I'm not sure. But so cute. So cute. So I think you could just paint this black if that's what you want to do. But I thought I would try. I'm going to try staining it with this ebony colored wood stain. Because I figured if I stained it and I didn't like it, then I could paint it black and that would be fine. But I found this at Michael's. It was like 10 bucks. So, you know, because I need something else in my house that makes a mess. So, but easy enough. And then I thought, you know, if I show this to you before I even finish it, then you guys can see what the packaging looks like. I don't think it's going to take, you know, a ton of work to put that together. But this is so cute. This is so cute. Oh, these all birds. They're cute. And let me show you my floss drops. Hold on. Having a folding issue. Cute. So cute, right? These floss drops, also from number 12. So cute. And these were like $6. Yeah. My mom ordered me a pack and I ordered 2 packs. So I had 3 packs. Which is good because I've already burned through more than 1 pack. So these are the colors that I'm using for When Pumpkins Glow. Some of them I say are called for, and then some of them I just, you know, I was missing a few and I was like, I don't want to wait until I can get to a stitchy shop to get like the exact color. I can just use what I have, right? So for instance, this one, this is Classic Colorworks St. Bernard. But I also wrote that it's a sub for Classic Colorworks Poblano Pepper. So that way I know not just what it is, but what I'm supposed to be using it for. Wow, see, lots of subs. But these are so cute. And I just use a Sharpie to write on these, and it's been fine. It's been good. So, thank you, Nicola. Thank you, Brenda Gervais. Let's put that in there. And I really like my little bag. Okay. Let me see what else I have to show you guys. So that's the Halloween project that I'm in the middle of. And then this little guy, as I say, he's decades old. He's a little ghost holding him on. He's got a little pumpkin. I also have this one, and I might wear her next time. She's a kitty cat witch. And I did make her into a pin. And so this I made ages ago. This was before I was bagging my pins. I really should have put some paper or something on it. And then this is a magnet that I made. Little pumpkin on the moon. And this is another one. It's like a birdhouse, but it looks like a jack-o'-lantern. So cute. I have more on my fridge, but I forgot to take them off. So, all right. And then I got another project bag. This is, let me get it right, because this is the first thing I purchased from this woman. Pam's Needle and Thread, all one word, on Etsy. You can find her. She makes project bags and other things. I was looking for a Halloween project bag. The thing that sold me on it, besides the cuteness, that's this Teresa Kogut fabric, can you see it in the back there, was her photos aren't super great, but she tells you the dimensions. I can tell what fabric it is. I can see that it's quilted, and it's like, it's very stiff. But she was talking about how she puts this border around the vinyl. So you've got the vinyl, so you can see what's in there, But when you're shoving things in your bag, you're not at risk of ripping into the vinyl, right? When you shove things into the corner, it would go into the fabric. I was like, oh, it's very clever. I don't know if you did that on purpose or if it was a happy accident, but I like the idea. Okay, so the next thing I have for Halloween stitching is this Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee book. This is another With a Needle and Thread, Noblesville. And these are just cute little smalls. And what I did was when Morris and I went to Always in Stitches, I don't know, last month or the month before, I don't remember. I just bought every color that I needed for everything in this book. And then within the last couple weeks, I put them on floss drops. Now, this isn't every color you need. This set combined with that other hunk that I have for my other Halloween project. Those two sets of floss combined will be everything that I need but I'm not going to do everything in this book. I want to do the trick or treat, and then I like this little bird with the stack of pumpkins. I'm not sure about her, but I do want to do like this little ghosty guy, and I think these cats with the little bows on their tails are funny. So, and I've stitched from Noblesville's Keeper of the Pins book, and those were all pretty small and went really quickly, so I figured this will be similar. And I ordered some fabric to stitch these on, and it came in and it was not at all the color I was expecting. So I went onto XJU on Etsy and I found this beautiful mess. This is 40 count grandpa's sleeve. And I thought, oh, well, this is like gross and messy and Halloween-y, and I love it. And it's got these dark splotches on it, but the this hickory sticks, I think it's hickory sticks. No, this is onyx actually. I think hickory sticks is also involved in this book. It shows up. It shows up. And these letters here are so big and thick, they will surely show up on this. But I thought this was cool. So I got, I don't know, how big of a piece did I get? Whatever this is. This is a quarter, right? But I thought that would get me a lot of nice little smalls for Halloween. Yeah. And then another item that I purchased, I did get this from Always in Stitches in Noblesville, which I guess is my local LNS. It's like 45 minutes away. This is a Teresa Kogut book, and I kept looking at it and I was like, I don't need it, I don't need it. But I love this sampler. It's big. Am I really going to stitch a Halloween sampler that big? But I did think, well, I could just do like a little row of cats. How cute would that be? Or like these little guys right here. But I might end up doing the whole thing because that's just my prerogative. So, but there are some smalls in here that I really like as well. Let me show you. That one. This is my favorite of the smalls that are in here. But those ones are cute as well. The Black Cat Broom Co. and the Spooky. But this I thought was so cute. Now, she called for DMC here. And I just think, well, that's a lot of 310. So I might mix it up with some variegated threads or something here. Getting more comfortable choosing my own colors for things. Now this is empty. Let me just show you guys this. These are so cute. These are Teresa Kogut. And you can buy cross-stitch patterns for these little witchy ladies. Oh my God. Ryan called me Stitchy Lady. And then he goes, like witchy woman. That's what it was. He called me Stitchy Woman. And then he started singing Witchy Woman, but with Stitchy Woman. And then I started thinking about that episode of Seinfeld. That guy was weird. Okay. So that's that Halloween stuff. Let me show you a couple other Halloween finishes that I have. These I did earlier this year. This is a Just Nan. And you know what? I don't have the pattern on me. I'm sorry. That's the one I didn't pull. It is called Ghoulies and Ghosties, I think. It's old. It's old if you want to look it up. But this one only took me a few days. This is the called for DMC. This is on a, I think this is a 32 count, and I think it's called Cappuccino. I do have a photo of this way back on my Instagram. So if you really are interested, go ahead and look that up. But I think if you type in, like if you Google Just Nan Halloween, you know, you'll get all sorts of things. Yeah. So I have that one. And then this one is called Which Way. And it was a struggle to find one that came with the little charm, because you can find these patterns on eBay, but not all of them come with the little charm. And I wanted to make sure that I had the charm. Now, this I did earlier this year, and this was before I thought about over-dyed linens and stuff. So this is on like a really boring piece of Belfast. So, or something like that. It's like stone gray or something. I don't even remember. But again, information about this is on my Instagram. And you'll notice that there's a border, an incomplete border around here. That's because I was starting to stitch the border, which I guess I need to finish. But I was thinking I was going to hand finish it, like into a little pillow or something. But Ma, you can just finish this for me. Just, here's your guideline, as Barbosa says. So, finished those earlier this year. Which Way took, I don't know, a little over a week. I spent a lot of time on it each day. I mean, I was really motivated to get that one done. Oh, and then also purchased from Always in Stitches, which I have to get, I've got something about that. Is this Winds of Autumn. This is a Blackbird book, and I got it because I liked this berry here with the big bird on it. October 31st. You know what? I like this, and I might just stitch October 31st. But I watched an old episode of Brenda and the Cereal Starter, and it was the one that they did at the attic, and people doing show and tell and stuff. And there was one woman who stitched it, and she made it say October 15th, I believe. And she said that she did that because that's her birthday. And I was like, oh, well, I have an October birthday, which, yay. Okay, so Halloween is coming up, and it's my birthday next month. October is wonderful. So I don't put my Halloween decorations up until October 1st, because you have the whole month, right? It's September. Don't get ahead of yourselves. But I do love October. So I might change this to my birthday, or I might just leave it on October 31st. So, but there are a few other things in here that I really liked. So when I was there, I stopped into Always in Stitches, I don't know, like a week or two ago. When was I there, Peter? I don't remember. But when I was there, I picked up threads for just a couple of these projects. And here they are. And look how pretty. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I'm ready to go on, because I have a lot of 40 count linen, which is what I would use for this cotton thread. 40 count linen, and if it's small, it's small. I don't want to do it on 32 or 36. I don't like it. So, does it call for? Doesn't say. What does it call for? What size? No, I guess I need to read this. Okay. Well, I have a lot of 40 count linen because my mom and I both ordered a lot of things from Number 12 Stitch Co. Which, by the way, order things from Number 12 Stitch Co. Nicola is wonderful, and her fabric is amazing. I also really like XG Design, and they're both on Etsy. They both ship quickly. Just, I think you'll like whatever you buy. Yeah. Okay, so other Halloween-y. So, you know how Plum Street Samplers has that series of wiener dog things, and it's like turkey sausage for the Thanksgiving one, and it was like sweater weather and Halloweenies and stuff like that. So there's this story about my father-in-law when he was really young, walking home from school one day. He got attacked by a wiener dog, and I shouldn't laugh because I'm sure it's terrifying to like a 5-year-old or however old he was. But it's something that like the family still makes fun of him for. And I just mentioned earlier to Ryan, I was like, oh yeah, I saw this wiener dog thing, and I was thinking, how mean would it be to stitch that and give it to your dad? And he's like, oh, he's the one who perpetuates that joke. He'd think it's hilarious. Yeah. Okay, so here is Spider Moon by Just Nan. This is cute. And you know, this is, the called for is 32 count, but imagine how like cute and tiny and adorable it would be on 40. And then I could just use one thread instead of two. Yeah, because I think I'm over the 2-thread thing. You know, it's a learning process, right? Oh, and this is cute. Mom found this on eBay and sent it to me with something else. And it still has the charms and beads and stuff. It comes with like a little owl charm. Do you see that? So this is Be Scary. This is another Just Nan. It's just a cute little sampler. I love the little ghosts and pumpkins, and the pumpkins are striped. How cute are they? And these spiders. So cute. This is a recent purchase. Well, recent-ish, like this summer. Scary Mouse by Brenda Gervais. I have the threads for this. I have to decide what fabric I want to put it on. It'll be on a 40 count, and I have plenty of things to choose from. This is a scattered seed sampler. Oops, yeah. This is Night Watch, 1626. I thought those pumpkins were funny, but really what did it is the owls. They're so cute. I like them. More Just Nan. This I bought on eBay. And even though it has a picture of both of the hats, you're only getting the pattern and base for the one orange hat. I haven't been able to find this purple hat. But I thought this was cute. It'd be a cute little thing to display. But I don't even have the carrot colored linen. Okay. Itty Bitty Kitty stuff. Oh, Sweetheart Tree. This is a bunch of Sweetheart Tree. This is something I purchased for myself. Tiny plaid pumpkin. It's so cute. This is, it's like 60 stitches by 45 stitches. So little. So little. This is an Itty Bitty Kitty. That's cute. Itty Bitty Kitty, Witch's Little Helper. This is Spooktacular Halloween. This is cute. The spiders need more legs though. Why do they only have 4 legs? Put 4 legs on them. This is Blackie and Pumpkin. And it says Happy Halloween. Cute. So these would be cute little smalls. I should have shown, again, I showed on previous videos. I'll have to pull them out again. But I finished a couple little, a couple of these Itty Bitty Kitties. And my mom finished them into pillows for me. Then I stuffed them and, you know, sewed up that little bit. But she put a cord on it so I can hang it. And these, they turn into like these tiny little pillows. And I overstuffed them, so they're really fat. And this says Halloween Octagon. That's what it's called. Again, why does that spider only have 4 legs? I know you can fit 8 legs on there. Okay. Oh, back to... Oh boy. Oh my god. We're already at an hour and a quarter. Back to this. So as I say, I went to Always in Stitches a week or 2 ago. And really I went in there to get some trim because I was on a mission to finish this thing. And as it is, I've taken a break. We've paused. I haven't finished it yet, and that's okay. But I wanted to get some trim because this has rickrack around it here. And I thought, well, I know that they carry Lady Dot Creates, so I'm going to go see what they have. And I picked out a few different things. And I picked out some pom-pom trim. This is Witchy. Oh, so cute. I love that color. It's like violent green. I like it. And then I also got Jack. This is like a darker pumpkin color. I really like that as well. And I brought with me my project bag with all the threads in it and everything, so I could compare the colors of the threads to, you know, the trim that I was buying. But then I also got this rickrack. This is Colonial Tea. So this is hand-dyed variegated. They had, what was it called? Salem Gray, which I really like the name, but I liked this color better, so I got the Colonial Tea. So whatever I don't use for when pumpkins glow, I can use for other things. So I'm gonna put this all together in this bag so I know where it is. And then also I found this. This is just some little gingham ribbon, because at the top there's that little bow there, and I do like that. I think that's really cute. And if I stick it on there and I don't like it, I can just pop it right off, and I can use this. You know, I've got so much of that ribbon, I can use it for something else. Also, I've been to a few antique stores in the last however long. And one I went into, I didn't really, it's a lot. Anyway, I managed to find these two things at least. I wasn't even looking for this. I was looking for a desk. Unsuccessful there. But these are old pearl buttons. This is genuine pearl. $3, still on the card. 29 cents originally when they were made. But isn't that funny? Still on the card. So I thought those were nice. I can use this for something. And then also still in the package, made in USA, Wrights, Rick Rack, 10 cents. I didn't pay 10 cents. I paid $3, I think. Yeah, but isn't that funny? I wonder when this was made. If anybody knows, please tell me. But it looks great. So black Rick Rack. I mean, I will use this on something. Black Rick Rack goes with everything. Okay, that might be everything I have as far as purchases and whips and imminent starts and things. Okay, so last thing is, if you guys have stayed for all of this, then you can listen about my giveaways. So when I started these videos, I was thinking, do I want to do giveaways? Do I not want to do giveaways? I don't want to do giveaways. But when I went into Always in Stitches, Peter, he's a guy that works there, and he was very nice. And it's Always in Stitches that I took Morris to for the World Cross Stitch Day party, and he was so excited to stitch with all the old ladies. So last time I was in there, Peter gave me some things for me, and then he gave me a couple things to give away on my Flosstube. So what I want you guys to do, I was trying to think about how I was going to do this. Just leave a comment. I know some of you comment regularly anyway, Rebecca, and but just leave a comment. Don't use the word giveaway. Don't use the word prize. Don't use any of those words. Just leave any old comment that you would normally use. And in a week's time, I will randomly select 2 people, and I'll contact you. I guess I'll provide an email address or something, because I'll need your shipping address, obviously. But let me show you what I have up for grabs. So Peter gave me, for me, he gave me this bag, this cute project bag, and this is Always in Stitches, and it came with a little notebook. And this says Always in Stitches, where creativity meets possibility. And just in case you want to go to their website, it's alwaysinstitches1.com. They are located in Noblesville, Indiana. And they have a lot of cross-stitch supplies, but also yarn, punch needle, and tons of quilting stuff. And they even sell machines and things like that. Okay, so another thing that I got was this corner gauge. Laura, this is for you. That's why I was saying don't get excited. It's not like this huge big project or anything. But I'll give you this corner gauge to add to your collection, because I know that you collect them. And then I got a couple other things like a pen and stuff. So thank you, Peter. Okay, for the giveaways, we've got 2 little goodie bags. Within these, there's some information about Always in Stitches, how to follow them, and then how to even get a birthday discount, which reminds me, next month is my birthday. So what happens is, if you're registered with them, which all you have to do is like give them your name and your phone number. I think that's it, just so that your name is in their system. So if I go next month, one day of my birthday month, I get to take 20% off my regular price purchases. Can only be used once during your birthday month, and then I'll have to show my ID to prove that my birthday is next month. But I'll be able to take advantage of that. And 20% off, I mean, the last couple times I've gone, I've spent like $100. So that's a big chunk of change that you'd be saving. So, but the first prize that we have is this little Halloween pattern with some other little goodies in here for you. This is Stitching with the Housewives, and I know a lot of you guys like them. I hear a lot of talk about them. They have a lot of cute stuff. And then the next one is actually a Christmas pattern with the same extra little goodies in it. The Christmas pattern is, I believe it's a shepherd's bush. And it's the stocking. This is, it says Martha's stocking. It's got a reindeer and stars, snowflakes, trees, yeah, a little house on the bottom, some sheep. It's really cute. And then of course there is an alphabet, so you can chart whatever name you want. So leave a comment. And again, also find me on Instagram, because if you have any questions or something, I mean, I read all your comments on YouTube and I try to answer them pretty promptly, but I check Instagram more than anything. So if you guys, you don't want to reach out to me there, you can. So next Saturday, let's say by noon Eastern time, I will choose 2 lucky winners, and I will contact you through YouTube comments, something, or I'll ask you to email me or something. And then if I don't hear back from the winners within 48 hours, then I'll choose a different winner. How about that? Okay, so we've got 2 things up for grabs, and if you win, you'll just get what you get. It'll either be the Halloween or the Christmas goodie. So I want to say thank you very much to the lovely folks at Always in Stitches. Again, they are located in Noblesville, Indiana, and it's a great shop. I mean, you can waste a lot of time there. if you want to make a pilgrimage there. So that is everything that I have to show you guys. And oh my God, I'm going on an hour and a half here. So thank you guys so much for watching. I was setting up this morning and I was like, do I really want to do this? Are people enjoying it? Yeah, but it's good for me too. Then I get to go through all my stuff and it's exciting, and I'm connecting with people in ways that I didn't even know possible. So it's been really good for me both ways. I've gotten a lot out of watching other people on Flosstube, and I feel like I've really connected with people by putting myself out there as well. So I just want to say thank you again for everybody, whether you just watch or whether you comment and interact. And, I love it when people share with me, oh, I'm working on that too. Or, oh, you've inspired me to go find this other thing. Or, I've even had people tell me that because I only just started stitching on linen last year, that they're finally trying it, whether they're my age or 30 years older or whatever. They're like, why did I wait? Yeah, well, why? You don't know, right? So just keep on with your stitchy adventures and keep trying new things. But then again, also, if you know what you love, then just keep stitching what's comfortable and what's nice and fun and what you really know that you enjoy. And I've been having fun, trying out different things, but I do think I've found my wheelhouse in a couple things. I really like 40 count now for all the cotton projects, and I really like 46 and even 56 for some things that are taking thread. And I love my spooled silk. I love that. And I just, I wish I had started on linen sooner, because I feel like I've missed out on a lot of things, but I still have a lot of stitching years to go, right? Assuming my eyes don't fail me. So I will see you guys again in 3 weeks time. Whoops, sorry. 3 weeks time, which will be early October, if I am thinking correctly. Yeah, and so I'll, go over what I managed to accomplish in Sampler September, and then we'll talk more about Halloween stuff. So I love Halloween. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching, and see you next time. Happy stitching.